Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Glad you made it. It's another social production. We're doing it on November 1st, 2024. Welcome back. If you're just joining me today, if it's your first time, buckle up, buckle down. Where can you find these videos? On Instagram, follow me there. Subscribe on the YouTube channel if you like to watch the full-length videos. Check out patreon.com/RobSadri if you like to fiscally, financially support the show. By the way, I should say the full-length videos are on Instagram as well. It's just I got to chop it up into pieces due to whatevs. I don't know the number of the what doesn't matter. There's still a full-length videos. It's just in parts. I just wanted to clarify that. Nonetheless, it's Friday, beginning of the month. Oh man, I am super excited. Running mostly on coffee right now and a lot of adrenaline and a lot of excitement and lack of sleep because your boy couldn't sleep last night for some reason. And I did the regular the jerk and release the tensions. I did the jerk. I did the, you know, just a little bit of this, a little bit of that right there, a little bit of this, right there. Fall asleep like a baby most of the time, but no, not last night because I was excited. If you're joining me anywhere from Canada, Wagwan to mi familia, mi syndicate down south in the United States, as per usual, further down south in Mexico, further down south than that, South America, over there, hopping and skipping, over there into Africa, over there crossing into the border into Europe, over there in Southeast Asia, over there in Middle East, over there in further Southeast Asia, over there all the way to New Zealand, Australia, Papua New Guinea, all the way to Antarctica, all the way to the Arctic, all the way to, all over the place. Exciting times. I'm super excited just because you know what's up, baby boy. Your daddy's excited because this is it. It's over. It's finished. It's finito. What am I talking about? It's been one of the most eventful weeks we could, and I had to wait for this one. I had to wait for Halloween to come and go, but we knew this week's gonna be exciting, fam. I'm so excited about this week and like the next week as well. But like this is it. This is the last week. It's the most exciting erection of all time. The biggest erection of humanity. The one that the biggest erection humanity was riding on. Oh, it's exciting times. But we'll get into that. We'll get into a lot of stuff because it's been an fruitful week. Just stuff happening. This is what it's doing. This is my nipple, and these are societal events. It's doing this to my nipple right here. Societal events, current events, societally current events. Squeezing, lactating. Let's get it together. It's exciting times, boy. It is exciting times. It's the most beautiful time to be alive, you son of a bitch. If you're out there, ladies, gents, if you're out there living right now in 2024, almost to be 2025, let's all come together and be grateful for the things that we have and for the things that we will have in the future as well together. But let's ease into it. Let's just have some fun. Again, limited amount of sleep, lots of caffeine, lots of things to discuss. I've crammed it all in there. And we'll see what happens, baby boy, baby girl. Let's get it going. But before I get going, I must say that I like coats, like you like coats. I'm not talking about fur, I'm not talking about pleather, I'm not talking about jackets, I'm talking about coats, baby. I'm not talking about that shit that keeps you warm in the winter, although a good coat will keep you warm or cool you off if need be, weather permitting. I'm talking about coats. One of my favorite ones is, I believe it's a beautiful, famous woman, R.I.P. if I'm not mistaken. The saying goes, if you can't fuck me in the puss and stick a pinky in my tush at my worst, well, just do it anyway, because this is as good as it gets. As the old saying goes, if you can't stick it in, if you can't put two in the pink and one in the stink at my worst, well then go ahead and just realize that this is it. Get over it. Just stick two in the pink and one in the stink anyway if you can't at my worst. If you can't ride me reverse cowgirl and ride my cock and cradle my nutsack at my worst, and well then just do it anyway for the sake of, because what after all is the worst and the best anyway. Something along the saying goes, if you can't suck me off right now at my worst, well then just suck me off anyway. That's something along those. I love coats. That's one of my favorite ones out there. So Let's remember the OGs, the ones that paved the way, the ones that made it the ones that made it so that we could be here together right now. Shout out to those guys and gals. And everybody else doing it right now too. If you can't suck me off at my worst, suck me off later in the evening, because I'll be slightly better off, but still more or less the same. It is fall. We are heading into winter soon. I know in Canada it transitions very quickly. If you're like me, if you're eating different vaginas during fall and winter time, or if you're giving head to different cocks during fall and winter time, you might develop a little bit of a sore throat. You might get not a sore throat, but you might get a little bit of tingling in the throat and the vocal cords region. And for that, there's halls. Try halls if you're sucking on different cock or eating different bucks during winter times and you feel like a little bit of scratch is needed and you can't scratch it. There's a little bit of itch that needs to be scratched, but you can't do it because you can't finger fuck your own throat and scratch that itch that needs to be scratched. But try halls. This podcast could be potentially brought to you by halls. Lozenges, candy. Suck on the candy if you like to eat different boxes during winter times and it makes you throat. It makes you coughing. If you're sucking on loads of cum, different variants of cum during winter time, and you find your throat to get dry when you're walking outside with a cool breeze, try halls to relieve the tension, to relieve the stress. This podcast may be potentially brought to you by halls. Do we like to suck on candy during winter time? So if it's like minty fresh, hells yes we do. Brought to you by halls for people who like to eat different vaginas during winter time, but also like to be comfortable. And for the ladies too, let us not forget. For the gentlemen, for everybody, for all the sexes, try halls for all the sexes. Halls candy, relieving the throat pain for all the sex genders. Brought to you by halls, maybe. Or Fisherman's Friend. I'm open to ideas. Fisherman's Friend for people who like to suck on different cock and eat different boxes during winter times. Fisherman's Friend, because we know fishermen. And they like to eat different boxes all throughout the season, really. All throughout the seasons, all throughout the year. What are we even talking about? Doesn't matter. Let's get into this, because there's just so much that needs to be discussed, that needs to be brought forth. There's a company based in the US. It's very similar sounding to Neuralink, but it's not Neuralink. It's like Neuro, and I forget the name. It's very similar to Neuralink though. Neurodose, they make headphones. They can read your mind. It's incredible. Incredible, as they say in France. Incredible. It's cray is what it is. But we're just easing it. There's just so much, like I said. So there's mind-reading headphones that are available. Again, there's a company. It sounds very similar to Neuralink. It's again too much, but or maybe not enough. Neuro something. It doesn't matter. It's based in the Americas, I believe. And again, they've made these headphones and you can use it to communicate telepathically, which is pretty dope. It's exciting. It's not invasive. It's not like Neuralink where it goes there. It's not like a chip in the brain yet. But again, we are heading towards the same direction as we're evolving with our technology, as humanity is evolving. We are. And that's why it just got me to think. I do like certain aspects of the pros of this. I do like first of all, let's say somebody's mute and they can't talk. And maybe they got like, T-Rex arms, so they can't really maneuver joysticks or, whatever. They can't work a mouse. You know what I'm talking about? They can't, but they can put on these headphones and they can communicate with just their mind, and you can think about it. And apparently these headphones read your brain signals. And if you focus hard enough, you can move things around. They played a game where it was like a spaceship, and this fella put on a headphone and he moved the spaceship and he concentrated, and then he stopped concentrating, and the spaceship just drifted off, which is amazing, just beautiful. It's fantastic, because that's what it is. Sometimes we do always reminisce about the old times. We look at remember the times we were really, it's easy to look at the past and look to the past with rose-colored glasses or something like that, the saying goes. What am I talking about? The times where prior to speaking, prior to language, prior to the alphabets, when humanity was just out there, just extremely hairy, extremely just, a little bit hunched over, maybe working with sticks and stones, and just, there wasn't language. We used to look at each other and just make sounds and kind of grunt. And there was more of an innate, before language came along, there was more of an innate communication. You don't use it, you lose it, as they say. As we might have had, not saying which is better or worse, but we have definitely, and we still have it today. We still have it. You look at people that you're close with, your loved ones, your family, you have this communication that is beyond words, because you've built rapport, you've built that relationship. You can look at them and in a certain situation just be like, chill, fam, just chill. Popo pulls you over, you got maybe things in the car, act cool, you got to convey, just be chill, but we can't say because the popo's right there in your face, in your grill, and you look at your homie, you're like, just be chill. And to that he responds, we don't have any narcotics in the car, officer. And you're like, chill, homie, chill. So those types of, you look at your mom and dad, they give you, when you were younger, they gave you a look. They didn't say it. They gave you a look, but instantly, oh, shit's about, the fight continues, this shit's about to go down. Or your loved ones, you're in a situation, you're in a party, you look at each other, you spent enough hours, and you look at each other, and without saying it, you know what time it is. Irish exit time. After a few hours, let's get out of here. What are we doing? Unless it's like extra lit, then let's also go home. After a certain period of time, let's also go home. It's good to party, but let's also go home. So we did lose all of that. More and more people are now like texting to each other at the end of the party. Irish exit, Irish exit. They'll have to text it. And somebody has to Google, what is it? What is the Irish exit? It's just too much that we lost, but we've gained way more. So it's been, with language, it has been worth it. It is nice. But we do see it with Neuralink and other devices like Neuralink, like these headphones. We are going to be gaining a little bit more in terms of our, ancestral abilities, our innate ability, but in a different format. You're going to be more bionic, but you'll gain access to potentially telepathy, reading, having your mind read, which is, because then you'd have these earplugs or have these earbuds or have a Neuralink or a phone that's just attached to your genitalia, so you don't have to worry about losing it. But then at the same rate, it's not, the pros of this is of course more clear communication, because you might be thinking something, you might not know exactly what it is that you want to say, but then the computer's kind of working with you, reading, maybe guiding your thoughts, and then kind of helping you formulate better thoughts or better, verbiage at least. But then at the same rate, we are already seeing a lack of, we are going kind of, I do see maybe, I don't know, extrapolating this and, looking way into the future, is the future silent? Are we going to go back to silent times? Is everybody just going to be, Neuralinked up or, headphoned up and just looking at each other, reading each other's minds, communicating via telepathy? And now, is the future silent? Is silent film the future, really, if you think about it? You just see shit and you know what's up. It is tricky though, because yes, there are questions and concerns about, of course, privacy, autonomy, freedoms. And what does this say? Because that's the thing, sometimes we don't say the things we're thinking. Most of the things we do say, we don't, it's filtered. You filter. For most people, some of us more or less than others, some of us way less than others, some of us rarely ever. I try not to myself, just because it's fun to say the things that you think all the time. It's fun that way, but that's the thing, we need to prepare ourselves for that world. If we are heading into this world of transparency and mind reading technology, essentially, because everybody has wild ass thoughts. Again, most people don't say most of the things that they're thinking about, but if you get access, or if computers do get access to your thoughts, then everything that you think about will be up there, it'll be logged up. And that's when it gets tricky. Is this gonna lead to more suppression or more freedom? More space for freedom of speech and expression, or more laying down the law? Because now you're gonna have thought crimes that are gonna be, well, you thought about it, I just thought about it, I didn't actually do it. And then they're gonna be knocking on your door and saying, well, you thought this in October, whatever. They'll name a date. And it'll be transcribed. You thought exactly this thing, you thought you were gonna go do this, that, and the other, and the next thing you know, knock, knock, explain yourself, homie, what you been thinking about? You're like, it was just a thought. What about your wife or spouse? Because we all, God, the God, nature, whatever, aliens, whatever, we've been gifted with the sense of sight. We see things, and you love your lover and your wife or whatever. She's got a great set of knockers, but then you see multiple knockers, on your stroll back home from your little coffee stroll, and then you've seen maybe 5 tits, and you've picked it up consciously or subconsciously. You register those tits. Or it's gray sweatpants season. Gray sweatpants season. The ladies too. You think it's just guys? Try wearing gray sweatpants. When all the ladies are looking at your nutsack and your bulge. Next thing you know, you're walking home hand in hand. But now you got access to your wife or girlfriend's thoughts, and she's picked up 7 bulges during your walk back. You're like, she's not that type of girl. Every girl's that type of girl, lady. Again, consciously or subconsciously, you see it. If you see a bulge right there, you're going, oh, nice bulge. High five, bulge, right there. Go daydream about a bulge. Then go home and role play. I'll be you be me. You be the guy walking down the street with a massive bulge. All right, fine. You be the girl with the double D's then. You'll say things, or you might not. I don't know. I'm just saying, you got to be comfortable with these thoughts. You got to be comfortable with a lot of things. You're going to be walking to work thinking, man, my boss, I like him as a human being. I get it. He is this joint. I can't wait to get out of this joint. But in the meantime, you got to put on a face where you're like, I love being here from 9 to 5. This is the best. Best. Simply the best. But people are going to have to become more comfortable with the idea of, if we're going to be getting access to those inner thoughts, inner monologues. Will it lead to more honesty? Perhaps. Will a lot of boundaries be perhaps boundaries will be broken. Perhaps, a little, because the world it's a tricky world. Humanity is a tricky species. We live in what we agree upon as reality, so that the world keeps on spinning. We agree upon certain things. Not all of it makes sense. A lot of it doesn't make sense, but we come to socially agree upon certain things, and we're going to say, we're going to do these things. This is the best we can do. And it's always getting better. It's always getting better, of course. But nothing's perfect. There's no, we're aiming for it, even though we're not aiming for it, because we don't want utopia. Nobody wants utopia, of course, but we are always in the game of bettering and, perfecting it. But then the same way, you want to ask yourself, why perfect it? And then you realize at a certain point in your lifetime, I have had this realization. To every anecdote, there's an exact opposite anecdote. To every saying, there's an exact opposite. You gotta try your hardest. You gotta try your hardest. You gotta do your best. You gotta give it. And there's other philosophy. You shouldn't be trying, man. You should not be trying, fam. They say that. You'll meet somebody who's like, man, you're all this thing. You're this. Don't ever change, man. Don't ever change. Lady, don't ever change. He's like, this is. Next thing you know, you read a book or you hear a fellow, man, you gotta really open yourself up to change. And you're like, what the fuck do I do then? Do I change or stay the same? Do I get better or just remain the same? Do I improve or do I not improve? Do I try? Do I not try? All these things. To every anecdote, there's an exact opposite of things. I think, more or less. That's what I've come up with so far. So far. There's more things to come up with. But yeah, we are going to have to open ourselves up. But then there is the idea of, is privacy something that we would care about? I don't think so, to be honest. Just from observing everything, I don't think humanity, as much as we do, we used to, maybe in the past couple of decades, it used to be don't give out an email. People used to hold information near and dear to their hearts, but now it's everywhere. Now it's all right, just have it. I don't care. Whatever. Most people, it's just too many things you're dealing with on a regular basis, so you don't have time for the seemingly small stuff, which happens to be the big stuff at the end of the day. It's our way of life. It was their way of life. Ladies and gents, it is exciting though. Again, this technology getting implemented more and more in our lives in the next 10, 20 years, 50 years, again, extrapolating 100 years from now. Of course, I'm not going to be here in 100 years from now. Or will I? Or will he? Pickled in a jar, sitting on top of a shelf, doing things with just fake tentacles and a brain set in a jar with tentacles, living to be 1,000 years old, experiencing life without a body in a pickled jar. Maybe I will be around, who knows? Who knows? I would like to, this is definitely applicable in terms of like, it's great because like low level shit, like, yeah, we'll get to, you know, fight crime, but big level shit. I like to see this implemented in like white collar crime realms. You know what I'm talking? I like to see every politician in and around the world wearing these things. I want to read your mind. I want to know exactly what you're thinking. What's behind the facade? What's behind the face? What's behind the mask, man? What's behind the suit and the tie and the makeup and the earrings and the, you know, the power suits and the whatever. What's behind the high heels? What's behind the layers of the whatever? Remove it. I want to see. I want to know what are your motives. I do want to know those things. I am curious. Or we could just give them ample amounts of psilocybin and let them have a meltdown in front of everybody. Just, you know, but we got to be able to take it with the good and the bad. If they're like regressing a little bit and, you know, they're facing their traumas in a moment, you got to just be like, okay, all right, fine, that's fine too. But let's get beyond that. What else do you think about? Got to be able to take everything, the good and the bad, and be like, people are just people. People are mushy people. Everybody's gone through trials and tribulations, mushy trials and tribulations, people. Got to take it all in. So it's interesting to see these things. Wonderful. Yeah, mind reading headphones, telepathy. If you didn't think it could be done, it's being done. And again, this is just the starting steps. In the next 2-5 years, we might see again 10 years from now, augmented reality, artificial intelligence, mind reading technology. It is gonna be more robots. Jesus Christ, we are. Times, this is the most, I'm so glad to be alive right now, 2024, 2025, fam. The roaring 20s. The roaring 20s. It's great shit. It's great shit. Fantastic. Afterwards, I will put a hashtag and write the name of the company that's making these headphones. I do forget right now the name. It's very similar to Neuralink. It could be Neuroblink, Neurostink, Neurojink, Neurokink, one of those. It's very, Neuro is definitely in it, but I forget but it doesn't matter. I'll hashtag it, hashtag. I'll hashtag it so it gets around. Keeping a hashtag alive, baby. Hashtags. Nobody hashtags better than this guy, hashtag. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, but there's a lot to be discussed. Again, what's been going on in and around the world, because we are a global show syndicate. Mi Familia, we are, if you're just joining us today, this is a podcast about funny stuff and other events. In Sweden and Norway, they just went around and they just pumped the brakes, pumping the brakes, hand brakes, skirt, pull up, skirt, pull up, hand brakes. On what? CDBC, bitch. Norway and Sweden have recently decided to maybe pause, because they were going fast and loose. They were playing fast and loose with the old CBDC, baby. Central bank digital currency. Cashless society. They said, you know what? We're Scandinavian. We don't like cachet. We don't like extra built up. We don't like bills. We like to go cashless. But recently, because of the current world events that are unraveling before our eyes, you know, there's unrest in a lot of places in the world, and much of it has been going on for a couple of years now, I believe. I lost track. I don't even know how long it's been. Ukraine, Russia, Middle East has been whatever, for 1,000 years. Figure it out already. Come on. Different parts of Africa, of course. It's you know, it's best of times, but it was also challenging times. But it also, challenged times makes good times for growth and learning experiences. But yeah, Sweden and Norway have recently looked at the potential risks of having a digital currency, because they realize that there is a rise in cybercrime and cyber warfare, and that the grid is potentially vulnerable to many different types of new age warfare. So if you do go full CBDC, central bank digital currency, or some sort of a cashless society, there is a risk. There's definitely a risk of when the lights go out for whatever reason, whether it's due to warfare, cyber attack, or just, you know, power outages, a solar flare that could wipe out the power grid for a little while. We just recently, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, was it this week or the week? Again, so many things have happened recently, and I'm just juiced up to talk about it with you guys and gals out there. Cuba just went out with power. Their power went out for a few days, and apparently the country was just like, oh, and everybody's trying to figure it out. No power for a few days, and these guys aren't even cashless. But imagine your power goes off for a few days due to whatever reasons, hurricanes, the floods, this, that, and the other. Next thing you know, I gotta get some cash so I can, buy some gas so I can, top and skip over to somewhere safe. I gotta pick up my family. Oh, we're sorry. Nothing that works with electricity works right now. Your bank accounts, even if you were to pull it up, it's gonna show 0 because maybe there's been a cyber attack simultaneously. But that sucks. And you don't have any cash on you. You're left. And you know what I mean? You're gonna have to get on your knees and suck so much cock to get cash, whatever is remaining out there. And who knows what it's gonna be worth if nobody's been able to use the cash for some time. So brings me to the point, should we look right now in history and kind of embed it into law that we should protect cash? Should cash be protected by law? I don't know how these things work, but because some places, as things I've seen, I walk into my local Tim Hortons to get my Tim's coffee, and I see people just paying with their phones. People don't even want to take out the credit card no more, man. Ladies and gents, we are just paying with the phones. Everything's becoming digital, and it is great, but I'm just saying, what if you needs the cash and you don't got it? What happens? How many cocks can you suck? How many old labias can you finger and get that good necessary to provide for you and your family in the meantime? Think about that. Think about that. Old vag smells like mothballs. Get used to it, bucko. Slurp, slurp, sister. Slurp, slurp. Should we embed protecting cash into law? Because then you wouldn't be able to have places that say no cash here. We are a new wave. We're a new age. No cash here. Only digital acceptance of the monies, the currencies, the dineros, the doll hairs, that cheese, that cheddar, that fetty, baby. But that's just in and around the world. It's just been what's going on in and around the world. But exciting things are happening, man. People are doing a lot. We are fascinating creatures, and we are fascinated by fascinating creatures as we are animals. And then there are lesser animals, lesser as in we're better animals than they are because we're like bigger and smarter and shit, give or take, whatevs. Top of the food chain, top dogs. Laying down the law, soaring above all of the animals. Top dog, top of the food chain, big animal, big dog. And due to that reason, we do things, we do different things, we interact with different animals and species, and we like to collect different animals as pets. And there's certain things, I love pets myself. I love a good cat and dog. I love cats, dogs, let's go. Cats, dogs, all day, every day. But then people start getting wild. I haven't seen, but we all saw Tiger King. That made a whole, that was during the Pandy Schmandy, that was a good timing. Got a lot of noise, it was a great documentary, movie, series, whatever you want to call it. I've not seen the Chimp Crazy one, but I hear it's great. It's the same thing, but again, it's a story of humans going out there and taking ownership of exotic pets, where it's just like, recently, apparently there's been a rise of collecting, souveniring tarantulas. People are getting these hairy tarantulas and they're collecting them. Apparently that's become a thing. Apparently it's been going on ever since maybe the 70s, 80s, and apparently it's on the rise. And apparently, from what I read, of course, this could all just be, I don't know, I wasn't there. I didn't write the article. I don't know these people. So this could all be just fucking tarantula noise. Oh, maybe they want to steal my focus and attention from the important things and bring it forth and pinpoint it on tarantulas. Illegal trade of tarantulas, hairy species getting traded and maybe going extinct due to that. But I didn't even know this. It's fantastic. Tarantulas, apparently some of them live up to 30 years. I did not know. I've seen a tarantula once in my lifetime in person. I was probably around 4 or 5 years old. I opened the door to our backyard, the familial backyard. Walk in there, giant ass tarantula the size of the palm of my hand, scared the crap out of me. I was a young, wee little man, and I don't know. I think I ran off, maybe screaming, maybe crying, maybe, I don't know. I don't remember. But it was a sight. I'm just like, holy shit, it's huge. It's different than a spider. I've seen spiders, you know, itsy bitsy, no problem. Tarantulas, hairy, giant motherfuckers, scary, creepy motherfuckers. Cute from afar. Cute in cartoons. Cute on television. With the British guy talking about its mating habits. It's fantastic. Love it. But pet ownership, and you know, and it's one of those things, because they do live up to 30 years, apparently, you know, and people are social beings. People are unpredictable. People are going through their own shit, and you end up moving and relocating. And it's different. This is not a regular pet. This is something that belongs in the wild, or maybe at best needs to be, you know, looked after by people who are specialists of some sort, scientists who may be doing, you know, tarantula research to find out how we too can be like tarantulas. How do we get them 8 legs? How do we get 8 limbs? Why are they so, you know, fucking fruitful with the legs and arms game? Why do we only get 2 arms and legs? Can we double that shit? Look at tarantulas, try to get into the DNA. Can we get some extra limbs? Maybe leave it up to those folks. But regular people are picking up these tarantulas, and they're just like, you know, they're just fucking drying them up. They're kind of like doing it. I don't know if they're doing like taxidermy, but like it's a thing. It's a collector's item. You go up to somebody, and that's that guy. I'm the tarantula guy. Look how unique and fascinating I am. I'm the tarantula. What kind of pets do you have? I got a pet. You know, I'm a dog and cat guy myself. I'm a dog and cat lady. I got 3-4 cats. Got a single cat. I live with a cat. I live with a dog. What do you have? I'm the tarantula guy. They put it on their shoulder. They feed it little crumbs of whatever they feed it. And yeah, these animals live, and they're tiny, they're cute from afar, or maybe even from you know, close distance if you just happen to see one in nature. But they live up to 30, and they have babies at, you know, infrequently. And late into life, their females have babies. I learned that tarantulas, the femmes, are not like human femmes, where the human femme gets up to a certain age, all of a sudden you're like, oh man, you're geriatric. You're in your 30s, you're like 30, I'm the most young baby out here with the most freshest of wombs, and they're like, no, you're already halfway dead. You're like, what? God damn. So, but these bad gals, these tarantula gals, them bitches, they be popping them out willy-nilly whenever she could be like 29 and just open up that cooch and just slide out 5 babies right there, or not, I don't know. All I wanted to say is just, can we enough of the weird pet. It's my opinion. This is our show, right? Enough with the weird pets. Just leave them be. Leave pets leave animals in nature. Unless you live on a farm, unless that's your thing, but like apartment, you know, weird pet keeping, just keep it to cats and dogs. Cats and dogs, man's, woman's best friends, you know, fucking go nuts. Don't be that snake dude. Or be the, I don't know, maybe fucking be the snake dude. I don't know. All in all, I'm for it. But I'm also like, you know, don't be, I don't want to be associated with that dude. Like, okay, fine. I'll be associated. All right, fine. Accepting everybody for who they are. It just makes me think, what happened to just regular cats and dogs? Must you be that guy? Must you be that gal? I got a pet ferret. Why don't we just stick with the fucking dogs and cats? They're good enough. They're good enough, or maybe they're not good enough. If you can't suck me off at my worst, well, you might as well suck me off now. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday, of course, and it's the beginning of the month, November 1st. Let's get into it, shall we? Big, fruitful event. Huge, huge, huge. Huge week. Donald J. Trump went on Dre. Appeared on Dre, which is the everybody knows Dre. That's the JRE. That's the Giuseppe Rigoni experience. Giuseppe Rigoni experience. Joseph Rahone experience. Yusuf Rohan experience. Yusuf Rohan experience? Dre. The Joe Rogan experience. He went on there. And I'm a fan, of course. and Donald Trump showed up. And basically what it was, if you've seen it because millions of billions of people have seen it. I think what it did, and I know, I've seen the numbers. What happened, if you've not seen it, but if you've seen it and you're like, man, let's talk about it more. What happened? Let's briefly talk about it, but let's also talk about it a little bit, because it's just exciting times. I love it because, again, as I said, I like to see into the minds, at least get a closer look at what politicians are like, because these people end up, whoever they are, they end up, in charge of a lot of important things that impacts us. And as we adults more and more each and every day, you notice how policies and shit impact us locally and, domestically and internationally. Everything kind of sort of is, linked, connected, whatever. Point is, ladies and gentlemen, that Donald J. Trump showed up on Dre. And together, what happened? When you have two alpha males who is Joe Rogan? If you already don't know, I'm sure you already know, but Joe Rogan, the man who puts the alpha in alpha brain, the sultan of ice baths, the master of the cage, you're familiar, you know who he is. And then you have Donald J. Trump, Trump. So what happens is you have two alphas. One alpha is here and the other one alpha is right there. And then they get together and then they merge and they're giant because they're both alphas. And then what happens is it's beautiful. You've seen it. You saw what happened when two big alphas get in the same vicinity together. Their cocks wrap around each other and form a double helix, and then it shatters the internet. It broke the internet. That's what happened. Two giant alpha males just wrap their cocks around each other like this. Alpha cocks. And one formed a phoenix, and another one formed a bald American eagle, and they looked at each other, and it went like alpha, 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 and the double helix shattered the internet, and it broke barriers, and it paved a new format of communication of stuff for things to come. There will be more of this in the future. No longer will important men and women only get to hide behind a front, a mask, a facade. You'll see for better or for worse. You'll get to at least see who the real person is, or as close to it as possible. And it was beautiful. I love that. I love the double helix. I love it when two alpha males just get together and just right there. It's fantastic. I want to see more of it. I want to see more of that. The numbers were crazy. It shattered the internet, of course. It's over. It's literally over. But I have said in the past few weeks, maybe months, you see a president be taken out and replaced by another. You see that the game is constantly changing, and that's what I've learned. The game has changed, and it's always changing. You gotta so from what I see, based on the numbers, I would say that's a wrap. It's a wrap. Let's just stick a fork in it. It is done, son. I would assume, based on from what I've seen, what I've observed from the outside, that Donald Trump is going to win the presidency. If there are no shenanigans, if there's no funny business, just looking at it, because again, I believe Kamala Harris did not make an appearance. She refused to go. And you lost right there. It's over. She showed up, I believe, on Club Shay Shay with Unk. And the numbers just speak for itself. I think the last time I checked was, writing down, thinking about stuff, just trying to, come up with whatever, how are we going to tackle it? Looking at the numbers, I believe we're looking at close to 40 million right now in a few days for Donald Trump and Joseph Rogan. And we're looking at 1.2, potentially maybe 2 million for Kamala Harris. So I just looking at the numbers, I don't see, if you have, I think it's gonna be a landslide. I think that's what they call it. Is that what they call it? Like when you heavily you win with bigger. I think hold your bigger soft R. Bigger. When you win with you win with so much that is too big to rig. That's what they say. I think that's the thing that they say. So from the numbers that I've seen, it was fantastic. I love the double helix once again. I loved the whole alpha male, or, you know, do that thing. That was good. Because you need that. We need a little bit of balance. Over the past, like, you know, 4 years, maybe even longer, 8 years, it's been a little bit, we need a little bit of balance. We need a little bit of balance. We need a little bit of more, you know, there is a thing to be said. It's a lot of things that needs to be said, and we'll continue to say it as we go along the way, learning and growing together. But yes, it's good to have, you know, a little bit of masculine energy doesn't hurt. That's what I'll say. I'll say this. It's because, not to say that feminine energy isn't needed or loved. We love the feminine energy, but it's just because we've had guys come in and do fem energy, and it's just been detrimental to our societies. We've seen that the left has done that. The liberals have done that. We here in Canada have done that for like 8-9 years now. Our guy won't leave, and he's turned the entire country into a 42-year-old lesbian. Everybody is just, Canada needs to fucking turn it around. That's what I'll say. It's just, you know, just a little bit of, too much cuckery is not good. A little bit for the shits and giggles, yes, but too much of it, then you notice the country is becoming a 42-year-old lesbian that is just, you know, it's just too much. Everybody's loved and respected, but let's focus on the important things, shall we? Let's get some actual affordable housing. Let's talk about what matters instead of diversity, equity, trans this, trans, just like you know, people want real, and we'll take the good and the bad. As long as you're honest about it, we'll take the good and the bad. So that was fantastic. Yeah, Kamala Harris, and my analysis of the sitch, analyzing sitches all across the globe. Yeah, she didn't show up, you don't show up, that automatic, you lost, it's over. Again, unless there's some shenanigans, and I'm not ruling out shenanigans, but we'll wait for it, we'll see what happens. I think it's gonna be, you know, I think it'll be a clear W for the we're going red this time. We're going red this time, and I'm not a left guy, I'm not a right guy, I'm homeless in many ways in terms of whether it's politics or just finding my space in life. Very much just out there, single man, doing it on his own. Sort of, kind of, most of the time, trying to do it, whatever. The things that we do. So yeah, I go based on current circumstances, you know, 4 years down the line, should you want to go blue? If it makes sense, then fucking let's go blue. Right now, it just needs to go red. It's just been way too much blue. It's just been way too much blue. It's too much blue. You need balance. You need balance. We need a little bit of red here as well in Canada. For whatever odd reason, should Donald J. Trump not win, I would like to invite him over to maybe come and run Canada, if that's a thing. I have my own ideas. Let's just merge the countries, Canada, United States. Let's go Canada, down the line. We'll get to that. That's just a boys / grown now man's dream to, you know, easier access to whatevs. We'll see where it goes. Again, 4 hours of sleep, baby, and lots of coffee and lots to discuss. Double helix. What else has been going on? It's very simultaneously as all of this was going on. What else was going on? Oh man, I wanted to talk about this on Wednesday. Well, Wednesday was like Halloween time, so I couldn't talk about it, but we're going to talk about it today. That's why we're here right now. A tranny comedian went to the MSG, if I'm not mistaken. Tony Hinchcliffe, trans comedian, made a joke about Puerto Rico and garbage. I did not watch the full set. Having said that, as a fan, I could say this to myself, as a fan and a person who adores comedy and everything comedy related, comedian said some words, people loved it. The left lost their minds. They try to portray it as this, like, you know, the boy who cried the wolf shit, you know, racist. It's like, it's not gonna work. It just doesn't anymore. It just doesn't. Nobody's racist in 20, like there are like very few, and you know who it is. Like, they'll make sure you know who it is. The comedians are not racist. They're not. It's just, it's that boy cries wolf shit. It doesn't stick. It doesn't do anything. And they're just jealous. They're just jealous because they don't have a trans comedian on their side. That's just what it is. And I'm not even sure if Tony is on, you know, like right now, I'm guessing, you know, because people, again, you look at the things based on where they're at. He showed up to the rally, to the convention. I don't know what it was. Repping red, repping the Bloods. You know what I'm talking about? Right there, Bloods. Repping Bloods. But yeah, they're jealous that they don't have a trans comedian that is willing to go up there and make a few jokes. That's all I'll say about that. Having said that, yeah, supporting all comedians, no matter what you are, who you are. If you're if you're doing it for the jokes and comedy, I'm in support of everybody. Whether you're left, right, black, white, trans, straight, gay, bi, tri, straight, whatever I don't care. He did get a little bit of heat because I didn't see the whole thing, but I saw a ton of headlines just coming out. Oh, comedians, race, just race bait shit. Race, comedian, race. So, I believe, I think what I've heard is that Tony will grow from this. We wish here at Glad You Made It. We wish Tony nothing but the best, and of course, he's great. He's gonna grow from this. I believe it's been reported that he will grow 6 to 12 inches in height. Some experts say maybe 50 to 75 pounds in terms of a weight gain. And other experts are speculating that he will gain 2 inches on his cock in the next 6 months, potentially 1 inch in girth. Only time will tell. What else has been going on simultaneously as all of this? I believe it was Joe Biden is making rare appearances, and I love it because he is president still, but like not really. And he's letting it loose, and I love it. He's letting it loose. It is, and you're at that age. I love that age. And it's different for everybody. It's just like it hits everybody differently, but it's at the age where right now it's just like the human brain is turned fully off. It's just fully lizard brain operating the body, the vessel, and it's beautiful. He's doing all sorts of shit. I see it. You've seen it. We've talked. It's beautiful. He called more than half of the Americans who are seeing what's going on in the past few years and are looking for change, looking for something new, looking for something that's not so much the old status quo, something that resembles a little bit of hope and, positivity and prosperity for all. So he's coming out there. He called a lot of people garbage, but he's again, it's that lizard part. It's just, and it's fun. It's fun to watch. It's beautiful because, and he tried to eat 2 babies just in the past 24 hours, if I'm not mistaken, 48 hours. He was on video, literally. Try to open mouth, trying to eat babies, sniffing babies. At this point, I gotta be honest, I like what I'm seeing because I from what I've heard, from what I've seen, I think he might be a little bit the way he got treated. I think it's rightly so. I wouldn't be surprised if he votes Republican. Given all presidents, as and it's a difficult job. It comes with it. It's a weird job. It's a weird position because you got to make heavy decisions. Most of the decisions that are heavy, we don't even get to see or know about. Things involving, domestic stuff, but also, international shit that impacts lives. Like, it's a difficult job. If he's trying to eat a baby at this point, give him one baby. He's deserved it. Ex-president, make him fun again. He's trying. He's giving one baby. One baby that you were gonna abort. One baby a miscarried baby. A baby who was just a baby. One baby. Come on. Come on, man. He deserves it. One baby. What is he, like 10,000 years old? Just give him one. You can't stop sniffing him. Just give him one. Just one. I didn't even go the old game of start high and then you go high, I go low, you go high. I started with one. Just give him one. Come on. Sniff so many. Just let him have one. One baby for old Joe. Come on. What else has been going on? Simultaneously, of course. I believe JDV, is another guy who I'm excited about. I've seen him talk on different podcasts, which is again nice. It's a new format for specifically, again, it's like podcasts have been for mostly, again, it's a relatively new thing, but you know, it's one of those spaces where there's a lot of freedom. It's beautiful. It's one of the most free spaces out there. I think it's just gonna grow more and more, and I'm all for it. I see plenty of pie for everyone. I have, and nowhere inside me am I ever like, oh, I love when people like try different, and we are evolving, and jobs are being different, and things are just being, I love creativity, but I like the fact that it provides a space for people to just talk from all walks of life. And it's nice to see politicians willing to at least sit down and have real ass conversations. I like to hear you cuss. I like to hear about your, you know, family life, your trials and tribulations. I want to know all that because it makes you more human. It makes me be like, okay, at least I know sort of kind of what I'm dealing with. So it's been nice to see JDV show up on podcasts, and it's he too went on Dre, and it's nice. He gives me good vibes. I get Chuck Norris vibes. I get Chuck Norris roundhouse kick vibes from JDV, and he also has he's got one of those names, JD Vance, JDV, 5-star frog splash, JDV. It's got like wrestler name vibes. I like that. JDV 5-star frog splash. Oh my God, he 5-star frog splashed the border. Border crisis, 5-star frog splash. JDV. I like it. 5-star frog splash, illegal immigrants, 5-star frog splash, JDV. I do want to see more roundhouse kicks. That was one area I did not see enough roundhouse. It gives me that Chuck Norris vibes. I loved, big fan of Chuck Norris growing up. I do want to see more roundhouse kicks. If that could be somehow incorporated into the vice presidential role, if it could be one roundhouse kick, JDV, 5-star frog splash. What else has been going on in and around the world, ladies and gentlemen? It's been exciting. I couldn't sleep last night. It was just so much. It's just so much. Google Google's being fined by Russia. Like, it's not, we found it, America founded it first of all, say that, but Russia's finding it too, or fining it. The Russian government's going after Google's, and it's saying, hey, why don't you let us put our propaganda on YouTube and Google? Google, you're gonna be fined $20 decillion, and it is symbolic for why you not let us put out the propaganda? Давай. Why you not you like the vodka, you don't like the propaganda, eh? You like the vodka, you don't like the communism, eh? You like the vodka, you don't like the propaganda from so Russia is saying that. And it is interesting because again, we are evolving. The world is as much as it used to be, it used to be unipolar for some time, America being the one, superpower of the world. More and more countries are, of course, developing and evolving, and there's, talks, of course, of power shifts, power balances, all these, big boy, big gal games going on. Maybe we'll become a bipolar or tripolar world. Who knows? But we are moving towards more information, more access to information, more freedom of speech, more, hopefully, room for truth. And yeah, it's interesting, but at the same time, because we in the West are advocates of these things, it's it's one of those situations where you're like, yeah, that's something to think about, because it's one thing to just have your information that you deal with domestically, but then you have other voices externally doing things and saying, oh, we want to spread why don't you let us do Putin might get out there and just be, why don't you let me put the video on YouTube? Why can't I upload? I don't know if maybe he can, maybe he can't. And there's we're gonna have to deal with that as a global community at large. but let's deal with, let's deal with domestic issues first, but then we'll go to global events as well. Yeah, it is interesting. It is interesting times. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'll say this. Donald Trump also has simultaneously, a lot has happened simultaneously. He's worked at McDonald's now. He's worked he rode around in a garbage truck. And it's been, it's nice just to see people like, at least attempting, because you don't see it from the other, at least attempting to, reach out to the everyday working men and women out there, whatever job it is. If you're, and I know that's a term that everybody's working, of course, but it's nice to see that. It's nice to see that. He rode around in a garbage truck. I myself, this whole notions of the word garbage has become very popular this past week, which I'm happy for, because I'm a fan of garbage. I love garbage myself. I bathe in garbage. I'm a huge garbage guy myself. I create garbage, and I get rid of garbage on a regular basis. I just tossed out a full bag of garbage this morning. I did it myself. So we are all in this together. We are all one and the same. I didn't get a chance to ride a garbage truck. Not for lack of trying. I did see a couple of fellas operating a garbage truck. As a matter of fact, just this morning, I chased them down. They sped up. I tried to keep up, but they sped up even more. I yelled, "Stop it! Trying to get in your garbage truck for the cam, for the video, for the podcast." And they're like, "What are you doing? Get out of here!" And I said, "Garbage! Garbage!" And I just jumped, and I tried to, jump in the back and, just go into just head first in the garbage, but I didn't quite make the landing, but that's okay. That's fine. I love garbage. I bathe in garbage. I'll eat garbage. I sniff garbage. I juggle garbage. I dream about garbage. Big garbage guy, this guy. If I see you, and you're like, "Yo, can I have some garbage? I'll give it to you. I'll give you garbage if you want. I'll give it to you." But I gotta say, I also love my garbage. So it's mine. So like, get your own. You know what I mean? Because it's like near and dear to my heart. I will, that's just me. That's just me. So let us all come together. And again, I don't know what will happen, of course. But it is. When will we find out? And I do have one question. When will we? Because it goes down on the 5th, which I forget which date it's going to be, but it's midweek next week. How long till we hear who's the prezi? How long till we hear about that? Do we hear like on the night of? Like, will we know by the 6th, or does it take? How long does it take? I want to know immediately, very quickly. I just want to know, because it's been nice, but also it's nice to like finally have a move forward in a direction. Let's just move forward in a direction all together, all united as one. Many united as one. If you can't, suck me off at my worst. Well, just maybe a hand job at because you're not gonna get this, just what it is. That's, just if you can't suck me off at my worst, well, how about a hand job? If we can't do intercourse right now at my worst, well then, how does 4 o'clock look for you? Intercourse 4 o'clock at my, a little bit better? The point is, I love garbage, and as a black man, as a full-grown black man, I'm a full-grown black man. I'm voting for Donald Trump, and I don't get a vote, but if I did get a vote, I am, as a black man, as a strong black man, I am voting for Donald Trump, voting for the Reds this time. Again, things change in the future. I'm not saying I'm a red or the blue, and I've seen, I used to be, even when, especially, I'm learning, just like many of us, it's independent thought is it's very hard to be. We do get funneled into these binary systems, and I suppose it's the best that we got at this point, and it's one of those things where it's like, hey man, don't change, don't ever change, man, be the same, man, but also like keep getting better. So it seems like it's just like red, blue, left, right. It seems like that's the thing. Maybe third, fourth, fifth options will somehow later be implemented in the political realm. Or maybe by that time, it'll all just be fucking AI, quantum computers running the show. I suppose they already in some way are running the show. It's just, we do gotta keep people looking like they're busy and doing things so that the matrix continues on. And it's good to be in it together, though. It's good to be in it together. This time around, as a black man, I am voting for Donald Trump. I don't get a vote, but I am a black man who's casting his vote anyway. So with that, I'll say happy Friday. And again, whatever happens, if there's no funny business, I'm on your side. You did support when they needed, when maybe they didn't need it, but he put support out there despite the fact that no one really asked for it. Being supportive in ways that people were like, man, that is a lot of support. Supporting when being felt like being supportive just because that's in its nature. Support groups, being supportive just for the fuck of it. Love a good team effort when we're all being supportive of one another. Plenty for everyone. And then there's plenty of cake and fruits and money and space for everyone. Let us all be supportive of one another. And together we shall get hard, like stiff. Until next time, this is Rob Sadri signing out. Get out of here.